Hey guys, it's Ken Scott, Senior U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with US Entry Waiver Services.com, and let us get you cleared to enter the USA. Today is February 7th, Friday, February 7th, 2025. It's here at the Surrey office. So, been thinking about this topic for a bit, and one of the things, well, I should say, the topic of today's video, uh, is going to be, can I afford a U.S. entry waiver? Can I afford a U.S. entry waiver? This is a question, guys, that I can't really answer. Well, I guess technically the answer would be either you can or either you cannot afford it. But I want to elaborate a little bit more on this topic. I try to make this as brief as possible, but you guys know I have a habit of being long-winded. So anyway, regarding this topic, you guys need to understand when you apply for these U.S. entry waivers, let's say it's a Canadian citizen, the non-immigrant waivers, you are basically asking CBP to do an assessment on you. An assessment is based upon the fact that you are inadmissible to the USA and you wish to enter, let's say for shopping, vacations, if you're a truck driver, business work, you want to buy a liquor store in Bellingham, whatever that reason. You're asking permission to enter the USA because you are inadmissible. You're inadmissible basically because of something that you have done in the past. I mean, that part is what it is, unless you have a TARDIS and you can go back in time and change it. So beyond that, you guys got to just deal with it and suck it up. You're inadmissible, probably something you did wrong. And I don't want to hear I was young, I was nervous, I was dumb. And that could have been true. When the day is over, you still committed the offense and you are still inadmissible because of your actions. So you guys have to accept that no matter what the reason was, young, dumb, nervous, you still did it. That's one of the hardest things I see here is a lot of people don't want to take acceptance for that fact. Um, Especially a lot of women. They don't want like taking acceptance for stuff like this for some reason. Well, a lot of like older women for some reason. But putting all that stuff aside, um, in order to process these waivers, there are certain costs that go along with it. Right now, as of today, like I said, February 7th, 2025, the US government fee is 1100 USD, which right now that's like 1600 Canadian. Guys, every applicant has to pay that, irregardless whether you get approved or denied. You have to pay that. There's no negotiation. Some of you guys cheap out with these discount waiver companies and get screwed because you see that application fee and you say, oh, wow, I need to try to save some money, or I can't afford that, or for whatever reason, you don't want to, or cannot put forth the right amount of money to invest in this because this is an investment, guys. This is just not like um, going to White Spot. You're not going to White Spot. You're investing in your future. And if you want this job done right, this is going to cost you money. Obviously, you got to hire the right person. You got to trust your gut. You know if someone's bullshitting you or not. You know if the person knows what they're doing. I won't even go into that part. But the point is, this stuff costs money. The way we do it is, as of right now, well, that'll likely change, but as of right now, we start at 25 to 2,800 for smaller stuff. And depending upon what you have, it can go up to 60K. That 60K mark is usually for like the extremely serious stuff. Extremely serious. People like that's I won't give any names, but someone who was maybe like along the lines of Al Capone or whatever, who left the game, something like that. I mean, yeah, you're looking at 60K. Most stuff won't be that expensive, up in that range. Um, the drug trafficking can be 3,500 to 8K depending upon what you are moving. If you only had like a small operation here in Surrey, I mean, yeah, that's 35. If you were like along the lines of other famous individuals here in BC from the 90s and 2000s, you could be looking at something, in that neighborhood. It just depends. And for that price, we do everything, all the letters of reference and all the rehabilitation, all the stuff that shows that your life has changed and you will not reoffend. Don't believe this bullshit when these people are telling you, oh, it's just one or two letters of reference. I'm not going to go into that in too much detail, but you guys believe what you want. And then, you get screwed over, denied, like you often do, going to these discount waiver places because this stuff wasn't done properly. The only person you can blame is the person looking back in the mirror. If you paid fucking 550 or 650 or even 700 for this waiver, come on, guys. What do you think you're going to get for that price? You're going to get ripped off for the most part. If you got a small thing like a car theft, whatever, okay, maybe that you can get away with. But bigger stuff, you can forget it because they're not going to do this stuff right. And they're also going to make you guys do all the work. We do 95% of the work. So you guys got to get this price stuff out of your minds. If you can't afford a waiver, you can't afford a waiver. If you need a waiver and cannot afford it, you cannot go to the USA. That's end of story. I mean, hate to sound harsh, but it is what it is. If you don't have the money, you don't have the money. But if you got money or a razor blade taking a bump, then you got money for this US waiver. And a lot of you guys got money for. So you guys put the fucking bud down and and come on in. Let's get this stuff cleared. Because a lot of you guys still have money for bud. So where are your priorities? Do you want to get cleared to enter USA? Or do you want to, although some of you, it won't really make a difference. Because some of you guys just don't seem to get it. This stuff is not like I said, not like White Spot, not like McDonald's Happy Meal. This stuff is serious business, and you guys need to look at it in such a way. Um, Too many of you guys complain about price, and you get what you pay for. It is my point. And me having worked for the U.S. government in the past and being a former law enforcement officer that was posted in Washington State, for us, this stuff's a no-brainer to clear because we have the same DHS rags, manuals, pamphlets, etc., that they use at Homeland Security, at the U.S. government, and other agencies. And guys, a lot of times this stuff's not just one agency. This stuff is spread out through multiple agencies based upon these border cases. So you got to know where to look, where to find it. When you find the material, you got to know what you're looking at. You got to know how to analyze it. You got to know how to apply it to your situation. It's so many things. So it's not just like buying a Happy Meal or buying a White Spot meal. This stuff is intricate work, and a lot of these lawyers screw this stuff up. A lot of them don't even know it. And these discount waiver companies, they don't know. And they say, Ken, well, how do you know this stuff? Was because when I was 5 years old, I was playing chess. I was 5 years old doing crossword puzzles, putting jigsaw puzzles together, things that required me to think and analyze, strategize. So from the time of 5 years old to present, I was always just naturally strategizing, naturally thinking, naturally analyzing, just analyzing. And I got quite, high test scores in school for, reading comprehension, analyses, etc. And I was actually on the honor roll, believe it or not, for a lot of this stuff because I know how to think critically. I know how to analyze. That's why when I worked for the system, I was one of the best they had. But because they treated me the way they did, they lost me. And now I'm here for you guys. I don't want to go into that too much detail. That's the past is the past. I have forgiven the U.S. government for what they did to me. That's fine. But they lost one of their prime assets. And if you guys are watching this video, you guys at the U.S. government should be aware. You guys are the ones that trained me. You guys are the ones that, well, I already had the critical thinking skills, but you guys are the one that taught me other skills that I've used to get these cases pushed through. Now the people you guys hire can barely count one plus one, and you guys know it. And that's one reason why Mr. Trump did the buyout, like the 8 month buyout you see in the news, telling some of these federal employees, take an 8 month buyout, there's the door and use it. Because he knows a lot of them are useless. Don't mean to offend you guys work for the federal government, but you know what I mean. Some of your coworkers are extremely useless, and that's on a good day they're useless. Let's not say what they are on a bad day. You guys know it. I still have contacts in the US government and these federal agencies, federal officers, law enforcement officers, and they complain all the time about this stuff, all the time. But I don't want to, I don't want to pick on a certain generation. Let's just say a certain generation who has anxiety about any little thing and every little thing. And when they see the moon come out, it scares them. When they hear a dog bark, it scares them. Any little thing scares them. Those are kind of the ones who really, really have trouble at work. And some millennials as well. Anyway, again, the topic is, can I afford a US entry waiver? You can afford it if you want the job done right. If you want the job slapped together and lose all that money and then come to us, try to get it fixed, and we tell you the price, which is going to be higher than had you came to us in the beginning, yeah, that you may not be able to afford. But you guys got to remember, this is a lifetime thing. It's not just a one-time thing. That means if you quote unquote cannot afford, you are stuck. You're not going to cross that border to USA. So think about it. Think about what's important to you. Ken Scott, Senior, U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with www.usentry-waiver-services.com. And it's 888-908-3841 or 604-562-8140. So the question you have to ask yourselves, is it worth it? Or more so, how important is it to you to get cleared to enter the USA? You want it done right? Give us a shout. You want to be ripped off, bent over the table? Call a discount waiver company. And after that done with you, come back. Don't have heart failure when you see the bill we give you, because you guys did it to yourselves by trying to cheap out. And I'm out.